I always find it interesting because I was an Xbox gamer most of my life. I mean, not Xbox, console. We were, we'd switch between Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. But most of my time was spent on Xbox. So I didn't play Freelancer, Wing Commander. I touched a little bit like the Starfighter, what is it, Jedi Starfighter game. And really, this is my real first dive. This and Elite Dangerous, both within like a 2-year period, were my first real dives into computer-based space combat. And I feel like from what I've experienced, at least, they're wildly different in how Elite is very much like, no, do not turn that way. You better only be thrusting that way or shooting in that direction. The Star Citizen is kind of like, well, you can try that, but you might black out or something.
Love the blackouts.
What's better in your opinion?
Well, I think that's always subjective, right? I mean, for me personally, Star Citizen is ahead of the pack in every way.
Okay.
Does it crash? Yes. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. Is it fun? Yes. Is there nothing else like it? 100%. Like when it comes to games like Elite Dangerous, like the way their flight system works is it is 6 degrees of freedom, but it rewards certain behavior, right? And so if you were to make a true 6 degrees of freedom game, you look at a game like Into the Black, which was a game designed by actually some of the original devs of the old TIE Fighter games. Mm-hmm. And it is as realistic as you could possibly get when it comes to like a space shooter in space, right? It's still in its Kickstarter phase, right? But with Star Citizen, they've kind of taken a bit of an approach here. I think it's because Chris, he watches Star Wars and he's like, I want to see that in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And I mean, we all do too, but we want that cinematic, but also it's like we want something that feels exciting, that is skill-based, that is in 6 degrees, that feels like it's in space, but also kind of still feels like we're flying space, like planes,
Yeah.
Because in reality, something like The Expanse, if you're a fan of The Expanse, space combat would look very different. It would very much be projectiles being fired from a certain location, then small movements, and then dying, fire again, fire. So you'd be, again, the whole velocity of the projectile, like it's just a completely different way of fighting.
Yeah.
Not like like the Red Baron and World War I and II and stuff like that, where you're in a tailing fight and you're trying to get behind the guy, and it's this kind of like ace v ace, like Maverick from Top Gun, this exciting battle of skill. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to bring some of that culture of the aerial dogfighting and stuff like that into a space environment. So they're rewarding certain kinds of behavior. For example, if you fly the Gladius, you'll notice that her belly axis, so her bottom thrusters, are twice as powerful as her top, right? So you might think, okay, well, in space, I'm not sure why my bottoms would be so much more powerful than my top. And you could argue, well, in order to VTOL or land or blah, 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 you need stronger bottoms. But in reality, what it's doing is it's simulating lift, right? So when you pull into a corner with an aerial fighter, right? When you pull into a nice curve, if you're pulling in with your bottom, you have the most surface area against your plane, which creates the most pressure as you pull through, right? As we've all seen airplanes fly through, the air, they turn and then they pull into the corner. They try to simulate that here with these fighters, right? Where they try to make you turn into the turn and then pull into it to make it feel more like you're in a fighter, but also still allowing you the freedom of just moving freely through 6 degrees of freedom. Okay. But they reward you for flying more like an airplane because you get way more acceleration, so you can make more turns. More turns equals more deflection equals missed shots equals a win.
Sure. But then you have a ship like the Car-2-All or something that would fly wildly different and make you want to do something different in combat, right?
Yes, but the problem with the Car-2-All is its front profile is 3-4 times the size of the light fighter.
Yeah.
That's the killer.
But I do. That's always been the one thing, as little combat experience as I have had, that's always been the one thing that I like, is that you can pick your weapon and then figure out how to take somebody out with it.
Mm-hmm.